Wholeness, wholeness, beautiful beings. Welcome to Nodes of Nara. I'll try to make this video as short as I possibly can. I'm recovering from a cold, an infection. So yeah, I caught it on my birthday last week. I was feeling off and trying to celebrate my birthday, and taking myself out for a little treat, and I was feeling off. And then the next day, I was running a fever, and I had the nurse at the school take my temp, and she's like, ooh. So I took Friday off. Saturday I was feeling better. Today, not so great. I had a fever again, but I think I'm okay now. So please excuse the hoarseness. And yes, I'm taking good care of myself. I'm going to use this week, Thanksgiving break, to really, really just slow things down. But yeah, let's get into the topic today. So we're still on the subject of shadow work, and I want to continue with this throughout this month as well as December. I've had a lot of shifts in the past week, a lot more clarity with the direction that I am taking in my life. And I kind of like how I'm quite ambiguous with my personal life for the most part, because it's really about the frequencies that I'm in this through my process of self-exploration and self-discovery that I'm focused in on. Not necessarily the specific details of my everyday life, unless I find it, in alignment to share, and I'm guided to share it. So I do like that, the kind of flow I'm in right now. I really would love to get into this topic today about forgiveness. So I have my little handy dandy notebook here. We were taught to forgive others, but never ourselves. And this, I think, is a universal experience as a human being. We are often raised to always forgive and show generosity, right? We show generosity and forgive through the generosity of our love through forgiving another person. A lot of the time when we are wronged, when we are wronged through an action or words or just through an experience, and we confront that experience, we confront the source of that experience, oftentimes the other wants to be pardoned. They want to be, forgiven. They want to move forward. And I find that oftentimes forgiveness isn't really about the other person. It's not really about liberating someone else from the shackles of their own shame and their own guilt and their blame. It's liberating yourself. And, through things and through experiences I've had in my life that have brought me to my knees, or have stalled my creativity, or that have forced me to press pause, or to completely scrap an idea and build from the ground up. I will say here that learning how to forgive yourself is it's the deprogramming of always putting other people first, right? I've come across this video of the two different philosophies that are very prominent in our modern day society, the ways that we express love. So in the eyes of Christ, love is selfless, love is kind. Love, you slap one cheek when you turn so they can slap the other, right? Completely selfless. And then you have in Eastern traditions, like in Buddhism, you have detachment, where you, instead of Because in Christ, it's you're attaching yourself, right? You want to love everyone and everything, and with love, you find yourself, you become attached to the experience. And with Buddhism and with some Eastern traditions, it's you detach yourself to liberate yourself. So you can love to liberate, and you can also detach to liberate yourself. And I find with forgiveness is that it's, you know, when you learn to forgive you liberate yourself from unseen shackles, right, that you place on yourself, that you deserve to be wronged, that you deserve what happened to you, like you should have done things differently, you're ignorant, you know nothing, right? A lot of the secret silent screams that are going on in our subconscious mind when we are angry at the other person for harming us. And it's like you have to walk a very fine line between accountability and self-blame when you are actively forgiving yourself. You know, like I've mentioned before, there are fated events, there are fated experiences in your life, and then there's free will to help you have a widened perception that won't imprison you in those experiences, in those fated experiences that you have, because we can become prisoners to our experiences, right? But true liberation is self-forgiveness. You know, forgiving myself for allowing, you know, unworthy people or persons or situations or jobs, employers, employees, treat me in a certain way. Forgiving myself for belittling myself, forgiving myself for devaluing myself, forgiving myself for being dishonest about my true feelings, forgiving myself for denying my most authentic expression, forgiving myself for putting people who had that I looked up to, that held some kind of intellectual authority at the time, above my own natural calling and my own natural intuition and feeling and internal guidance. I've done that quite a lot. You know, being inferior, making myself inferior. I never want to be superior over anyone. I'm always about neutrality, you know? But inferiority, yes, that's always been like lowering myself so that other people can feel better, so that other people can feel comforted or comfortable, so that other people can feel more attractive, so that other people can feel more intelligent, so that other people can feel more, I don't know, status and socially dynamic, right? Yeah, I forgive myself for many things, and to really truly feel that, I had quite an emotional release this morning through fever and through having a sore throat, broken sleep. And my body is like, I need you now. I need you. I need you. And I hear that. And you know me, I'm consistency above all. Like, even if it's the smallest that I can do, a little goes a long way. So I wanted to make this video to continue that energy vortex of creativity. There are many things I was planning on doing this weekend I just couldn't do, and I just didn't have the energy to do it. But you know, holidays are coming up, and I feel I'm just going to put myself first and not feel shame for that, not feel guilt for that. It's so it amazes me how often, you know, in the season of holidays or holy days, people have this expectation that you never hear from them. Like, you maybe see them once or twice a year or every 6 months. You might hear from them every 3 or 4 months. And then they expect you to drop everything you're doing, you know? Can't talk for long. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share. Be mindful. Liberate yourself first before you try to liberate others. Thank you.